Today, we're going to talk about why good businesses still can't get funding and some paths that business founders typically take when they're looking for funding. We know that as a business grows and we have more customers coming in, we're going to need more people to work in the business and we're going to need better structures. So when we start the process of looking for funding, these things have to be in place. So let's go ahead and dive into some paths that you can take to get funding. This one may seem obvious, but it is definitely a source of funding, and that is going to be self-funding, where you act as your own investor. If you are initially bootstrapping your business, then things that are out of place is just magnified. So another path is bank funding, and bank funding seems to be elusive for so many founders getting started or starting to actually become profitable in their business. What it feels like is there's a carrot dangling in their face and they can never actually grasp it and get a hold of it. And the reason for this is when you hear so many people talking about it, what they're not saying is in the early days of getting funding from a bank, then you're going to be using your personal credit. And if your personal credit is not good, then the bank is not going to want to fund you. The next step to that, in a simple manner, your personal credit is fine, and now you're going to have to show the bank how you're going to use the money. So they're going to need documents. They're going to need clarity in those documents. When you present it to them, all of the boxes are going to have to be checked, and their algorithm and their process is going to have to see that you're not going to be a risk for loaning you the money. And it's going to be very hard for a business that's disorganized and chaotic to look good on paper. So let's talk about investing in venture capital. The investor is going to want to see a return on their investment. They're going to want your pitch to be nice, clean. Now, if you do approach an investor and they give you some feedback, you can take that feedback to an operator and get your business up to par. So if they give you feedback, they're still interested, right? At least we're going to think so. But if they just shut the door and call it a day, then you may want to continue to look for another investor. But also take that as feedback too, like what needs to change, and then that's when you again go and pull in an expert and see what else needs to happen. I can tell you right now, with any type of investment, founder bottleneck is a huge one. If all of the information is in your head, not documented, you're still putting out fires, your business cannot grow without you, you are, in that case, key man risk, and nobody's going to take a bet on you because the business is all in your head. Doesn't mean that it's not a good business, but it does mean that that business needs to go get documented, make sure that the workflows are clear, make sure that you're able to explain how you're making money, how you're profitable, and some of the constraints in your business. So when you step up and give a clean, clear pitch, and that venture capitalist understands how they can continue to scale that business, you've got a deal. Grant funding is another way to introduce funding into your business. The grants have specific criteria and you have to meet that criteria, right? And then the money will be handed over to you to put into your business. It could be to help with your business infrastructure, to pay to bring on some type of consultant or some type of specialist in your business. But whatever those guidelines are, they're going to be clearly laid out, and then you can get the money. Now, I recently helped a barber academy obtain funding through a grant. And basically what happened there was the founder went into the development center and they had a talk. They worked with each other for weeks. And at the end of that time, when he pitched for the funding, he got some feedback. There were some things that needed to be tightened up. So he reached out to me. He called me. We spent weeks getting everything together. He went back and repitched them, and he was able to secure the funding. So now he has the funding, but he has guidelines under which he can use the funding, but it's some money that he does not have to pay back, and it will make a difference in his business. So business funding is not out of reach for businesses. Now, your business would have to be mature enough to receive funding, profitable, your workflows and systems would need to be in place, and the funding is yours to have. For other types of funding, you have to show that your business is able to scale or that your business is able to sell. So there are different avenues for different types of funding. So in the next video, I'm going to talk about what good systems look like in your business. And when you have those, you can scale, you can sell, and you can get funding. See you in the next one.